The story is, I've been sick lately, and I haven't been able to do any work. It's like, I know it sounds weird, but I would rather have, like, I have a cold, okay? I would rather have something like the flu or like anything else, because part of it is, like, when I have a cold, the worst part of it is I can't breathe. And when I can't breathe, I can't sleep. I can't focus on anything. And when I can't focus, I can't think straight enough to write anything sensible. I can't write anything funny. And so my head just feels like it's stuffed with cotton all the time. And so, like, reviewing has come to, like, a standstill. And so I've been playing a lot of games, collecting footage. But that's why there hasn't been much in the way of videos. And my voice is crap right now, too. Anyway, I thought I would make a video and just kind of talk about some stuff that's been pissing me off lately, and there's been a lot of that because I'm easily angered right now. Starting with this. This is the fucking, like, I'm sitting around, I want to watch a movie, so I take a movie off a shelf. This has got nothing to do with Death Proof, but I like take any given movie off the shelf now. And I try to open it, and I can't fucking open it. And you're like... And then you look at the side, and you see what's wrong, and then you see these. Can you see those on the side of the little handle there? They're like these little tabs that you gotta flip open. And then you can open the fucking case. But, like... I know it only takes, like, 2 seconds, but still, like, what the fuck is... You take it off and you try to open it, and then it takes you like 2 seconds to realize that some asshole put these little tabs on the side, and then you gotta flip them open, and you gotta open it up, and then you close it, and then of course to put it back on the shelf, you gotta close the fucking tabs. Like, why? Just explain to me why these things exist. I tried to think of reasons why. I'm sitting here sick off my ass, I'm trying to think of why you would put these little fucking tabs on the side of the case. Okay, security. Okay, let's roll with the security, or maybe somebody is like going into stores, just ripping open the cases and stealing your DVDs. But still, like, the case is shrink wrapped. It's in that cellophane. And then the worst part is, even if you get through that, you got those little fucking stickers. You gotta dig your fingernail under, and you gotta peel them off, and they never peel off straight. And then you gotta go on the other side, and you gotta peel them off that side, and you gotta peel them off. And I've actually gotten really good at that shit. But the thing is, there's not always one, is there? No, there's usually like 3. There's one here, there's one here, and there's one here. They'd put one here if it made any sense. So these things are like the most secure things you could ever buy. Like, you don't need the additional security measure of the fucking tabs. Maybe they figured, like, DVD cases are so unreliable, like in the middle of handling, they'll just, like, fly open and, like, all the discs will fall out. But they don't fall out because the discs are secured in those little spindles, so nothing's going to fall out of there. I just don't understand why. So now, like, I'm on this crusade, right? This is how sad I am. Like, I'm sitting here, like, just dripping mucus out my nose, going through my fucking DVD shelves with an X-Acto knife. And I'm going down, like, slicing the seams off all these little tabs and pulling them off. Like, this is my day. Because I'm so pissed off over this little fucking thing, and I don't know why it exists. The second thing is I've been playing a lot of stuff on... For some reason, I've been playing a lot of games on Steam. It's not because I like Steam, it's just because, like, the games I've been playing are coincidentally hosted on Steam. And so I played Team Fortress 2, and I got pissed off because of that. Because it's been like 6 months since I played Team Fortress, and apparently since then they've instituted all these fucking character updates that have added all these powers. Like the scouts. Like, now everyone is playing a fucking scout, because the scout has the fucking, the Sandman thing. And, I might not have complained if they'd always started with the ability to, like, customize their weapons and stuff like that. But now everyone is like this achievement whore online, and it's kind of created 2 classes of gamers on Steam, like on Team Fortress 2, is, like, there's either the players who have all the achievements, and they have all the achievements because they farmed them out, and there's casual players who didn't. And so the casual players are just getting dominated by the obsessive players. It's just kind of rewarding, like, munchkin-y gameplay. But I've gone on about that. The second thing was, I've been playing Fear 2. And actually, you don't even need to buy this, because you can just download the game from Steam. But whatever, I bought this. I actually liked Fear 1. A lot of people didn't like Fear 1. And it's kind of hard to defend Fear, because I will admit to all its flaws. Like, Fear 1, linear gameplay, check. It had about 2 different kinds of enemies, and you only ran into the second kind of enemy, like, in one scene. You know, there's like, maybe there's like the normal guys, there's the armored guys who take like 30 fucking shotgun shots, and then there's like the cloaked assassins you face like one time. There's like 3 enemies. And there's like little robots in the last scene. But, you know, I'm kind of a sucker for the horror-based games. You actually don't see a lot of scary-ish type games, and Fear's one of the rare ones. Sorry. You don't see a lot of the scary games. And I will admit, this isn't so much scary as... It does indulge in the cheap scare a lot, in that you'll turn a corner and all of a sudden you'll see this creepy long-haired girl go, "Ah!" like that right in your face, and you'll be like, "Oh shit!" And you're like, that. It's kind of like it's the cheap orchestra sting kind of scary, but it does kind of build an atmosphere. It does build a mood, and so I kind of liked it in that sense. And in Fear 1, you actually felt like you were facing some pretty realistic opponents, which I thought was pretty cool. But I don't know, like Fear 2, people were saying like it's even scarier. They didn't like it as much, but they said it was indeed like scary. But I didn't find that at all. Like, for one, like the AI for some reason took a severe downturn. I didn't know it could get worse, but it did. Like, there were guys who would just run into my gun sights. They would jump out of cover and just like they would follow each other single file into my waiting hail of gunfire. They wouldn't take cover. I don't know. It didn't seem like I was facing smarter guys. It just seemed like it was taking a lot more to put them down. I'll get to that in a second. But even the scary part was like, I just didn't find there were that many memorable scares in Fear 2 as there was in Fear 1. And there were cheap scares a lot, but I don't know. But I guess the biggest problem I had with this game, there were 2. One is, it took like a comical amount of ammunition to put guys down. Like, I don't care if they're super soldiers. I don't care if they're fucking body armored. It should not take like 35 rounds from a submachine gun to put a human being down. It should not take 15 rounds out of a 5.56 assault rifle to put a guy down. The funniest part was, I got that gun in Fear that shoots like these 8-inch railroad spikes, and it's the most ridiculous weapon. And people are bashing Fear because it doesn't have a lot of variability in its weapons. It's kind of like the standard shotgun, machine gun, submachine gun, pistol type arrangement. Nothing spectacular, but it has this. It's called the Hammerhead, and it shoots these gigantic railroad spikes, and it's like shooting guys with a long-range penis. It's kind of like that thing in Painkiller that shoots the trees, basically, and it stakes fuckers to the wall. That's what the Hammerhead is. It stakes people to the wall with these gigantic spikes. And you're kind of like, that's cool. And then you shoot a guy in the head with this thing, this gigantic spike. And not only does he live, he doesn't even go like, ow! I watched a guy with 2 spikes in his head. I shot him in both eyes, okay? And I wish I had a screenshot of it, but if you play the game, you'll run into this yourself. You'll shoot these replica soldiers in the face with I call them railroad spikes, but you shoot them in the face with these spikes, and they don't even react. They don't flinch. You shoot me in the face with a spike, I drop to the ground, screaming, clutching at my eyeball, trying to wrench this thing out of my face. I panic. I have an emotional response to this type thing. Like, it's not even emotional. It's like when somebody injects a 3-pound piece of metal in your face, you're going down. At least temporarily. You're calling for a medic or something. But no, you shoot this guy in the face with a spike, and he continues to fight at peak efficiency until you shoot him like 3 more times in the head. But I remember this, I had this screenshot of this guy, he's got these spikes in his head, and he's like, oh, he's just coming right at me. I was like, the balls on this guy are amazing. He's totally blind, and he's just coming at me. You shoot him in the head, they should fall down, okay? Like, maybe you're giving them a little too much credit as super soldiers, but man, that was a ridiculous amount of bullets. And like, when you go on the harder difficulties, it's not so much harder as it takes a lot more damage to put guys down. So like, instead of 30 rounds, it'll take 50. So it'll take a full clip to put a guy down, you know? All right. And the second thing I had a problem with was, side note, there's a lot of like little text pickups that you're never going to read, but there's no bosses in Fear. There's never any bosses in Fear. There's like little mini bosses, like there's soldiers who take an even more ridiculous amount of damage to put down, like there's guys with the hammerheads, they have really big armor, and there's like mechs. But those aren't bosses. Like, in Fear, especially a game with like a supernatural element, you'd think there'd be some kind of super duper like hellspawnish shadowborn creature. I mean, this is the perfect chance, especially when you're dealing with, let's face it, the game is basically a ripoff of The Ring. Like, you're fighting the girl from The Ring. This is the perfect chance to go fighting these hellacious, out of this world, out of your imagination, creative monsters, and you never do. You just kind of watch these hellish things tear other people apart. You never get to fight one of your own. And you never, ever get to fight Alma. You never get to fight the girl. After 2 games, you'd think there'd be some kind of showdown with her, and there's just not. It's not satisfying to go playing through this game, and there's not even, like, a conclusive battle. It's just like, oh, you reach the end of the 7th level, you're done. You kind of go through like this hallucinatory dream state, but it's not a final boss, it's not a final confrontation, and it's not satisfying. You gotta stop with the cliffhangers, you gotta start having some conclusive fights. And it just shows all this really cool stuff on the back, and you never face this stuff, you know? You run into these these diversion levels with a turret and a tank and this little walking mech, but it's annoying, it's not that fun, you're not facing... It just gets bland after a while, you know. I just think after a while you could invent something cool with this type of gimmick, and they just don't. I mean, like Halo, you don't give Halo a lot of credit, but at least the bosses are kind of, you're facing actual like characters at the end, you know. I don't know. I was not entertained by that game that much, and it was actually a step back, which I really hate when that happens. Like I thought Halo 2 was almost identical to Halo 1, but at least it wasn't a step back. You know, I thought, Fear 2 was far inferior. Anyway, I've been going on a long time, and I'm not feeling very well. So I'm going to cut it off. That's my view on, what do you call them? Like, the little fucking tabs on the DVD thing. What pieces of shit, but like, I gotta get rid of all these, because every time I open this up, it's instantly gonna throw me into a rage. Like, you wouldn't think it, but like, you know, late at night, you're like, fuck! You don't want to watch the movie anymore. It's like that little experience alone ruins you for the movie. Alright. Where do I go? Where's my remote? You have a good night. I'm gonna try to get some rest. I'm going to take these pills. You know what these pills are? This is Sudafed. These are not my crazy pills. These are my... Last time I had a cold, the doctor gave me like 300 of these fucking things. And like, I got so many extras, I'm taking these. It's a good thing, too. But, yeah. I'm going to try to get something to eat and try to rest. But, you guys have a good night.